My name is Regina Mareta. Welcome to the Kajiando We Want CBO. Today, the 6th of April, 2023. We thank God for this moment. We thank God for the rains. We thank God for the people of Kajiando. We thank God that we are healthy, and we thank God that we've been able to see this day. We give glory and honor to the Lord. Thank you very much for joining us. This talk is going to be recorded and can be viewed and listened to anytime. It's going to remain on our social media, the Kajiando We Want YouTube, so you can always come back to it. The Kajiando We Want is a community-based organization that focuses on 8 thematic areas, basically infrastructure, roads and street lighting, environment, waste management and land use, water, sewerage and sanitation. We also do advocacy for the vulnerable children, youth, women, and also men. We do security and community policing, education and literacy, health and awareness, and the last thematic area for the Kajiando We Want CBO is job creation, trade, and industry. So basically, we pursue these objectives through various means, that is creating awareness, like we're going to be doing today through talks. We do that through online talks, virtual talks like we're going to have today. We also do that through partnerships. We partner with the government, with individuals, with other CBOs, and also other NGOs that are run within the Kajiando County. And also we do what we call lobbying. That is, we work closely with the elected leaders of the Kajiando We Want to make sure that the services of the government are reaching the people of Kajiando throughout. Basically, our geographical area covers the whole of Kajiando County, and we continue to welcome you to join us in lobbying, in partnerships, and also in creating awareness in the 8 thematic areas that we've mentioned above. So just like we've mentioned today, we're going to be hearing from one of the experts on a counseling psychologist. And today's topic is one of the most interesting and enlightening topic that every family, every household in Kajiando need to listen to. We are raising children who are going to become capable members and leaders of our society. But in doing so, we've also been brought up by parents, and some of us have had difficulties relating with our parents. We have difficulties now relating with our own children because we've not been able to relate with our own parents. And today's speaker, Harriet, is going to be demystifying the myths and the stereotypes, and also going deeper in making us understand why adult children cut ties with their parents. We have teenagers who we've been told go through a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings within the growth cycle. And also we have young parents who are either teenage parents. We also have parents who are at the age of 30s and 40s, who are already going through their own issues, be it work-wise, be it social capital in relations, and that is affecting how we relate with our children, and we are ending up forgetting our children. And then Harriet, there is the issue of the social media, that is the issue of technology. I don't know whether we parents are ignoring our children until they cut away from us, or what is happening. But basically, I'm not the expert in this area. So I would like to introduce Harriet. I know I may not say so much about her because I would like her to introduce herself. Harriet, you will tell us who you are, what you do, and who you do it with. And welcome, and let's hear from you.
Wow, thank you, Regina, and good evening, all. My name is Harriet Wakini. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm also a marriage therapist. I also see young adults and teenagers, adolescents in one-on-one counseling sessions. I also see them in group therapies where I help them gain self-awareness, improve their relationships with their peers, and also set goals for their lives. That is who I am. I'm also a mother of three, and two adults and one who is heading to adolescence. I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers of the Kajiado We Want for having me today. I don't take it for granted. And I'm also a resident of Kajiado. I reside at Kiseria. So we are in this together. To the Kajiado residents, what I would want to say is that we are lucky to have such a vibrant group with leaders who are leading us from the front. Yes, the word of God says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. For us, for us, we have no excuse. These guys are looking for people to give us talks on various topics, and it's only us who we can only blame ourselves if we don't learn. So, this evening, I want to go to a topic that is quite thorny, quite provocative, if I may, if I may say that. And I may start by just saying why I thought of talking about this now, and why not the young adults, the toddlers, and why not the aged. Why I thought of this topic is because recently, the past couple of months, I have been having young adults, adolescents coming into counseling rooms for therapy. And the things that are bringing them there are things like anxiety, self harm, suicidal thoughts, depression. And when I listen to them, what is coming out is that these issues are coming from home. And to be specific, from parents. And so I thought, well, I think we need to put our house in order. We need to look at how we have been doing things, because these conflicts are the ones that now that are leading to resentment, and to the very extreme, the cutoff. And this is quite unnecessary. So we may need to look at how we have been doing our things, how we have been parenting, what is not working with this age. Yeah, there are things which were working before, but they are not working anymore. So we need to look at that. We need to look at where we may need to adjust and where we may need to change. And so let me now go to the slides and project my presentation. And you're welcome. So resentment towards parents. And I've said what causes it is conflicts in the house, yeah, and specifically coming from the parents, yeah. This on the extremes may lead to cut off, and we really don't have to go there. And so I want to start by asking you a question. Do you think parenting becomes easier as the children grow, or does it become harder? That is something you may need to first reflect on, whether it becomes easier as the children are growing older, or does it become harder? For me, when I was bringing up my children when they were young, I was just thinking of how they'll get out of the diapers and start going to school. I was looking forward. Now that they are young adults, I don't I don't know even what I was looking forward to, you know. Yeah. And there's the joke that goes around like when the children are young, yeah, they're usually so sweet that you feel like you can eat them, you know. They're so sweet where you keep them, they stay, they'll just be there smiling. laughing and all that. But now, when they grow old, you even wonder why you didn't eat them at all when they were young, you know? Yes. And so it doesn't become easier, neither does it become harder. Parenting is basically a mixture of all. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's exhausting, sometimes it's exciting. Yeah. So, what happens to us? We all go through developmental stages. Like even where I am right now, I am undergoing a developmental stage. So we pass through different developmental stages in our lives from birth to death. We are always navigating these stages, and they are marked by physical, cognitive, emotional, and social changes. So for each stage, there is a task that has to be accomplished. And if it is well navigated, then one turns out to be okay. If it's not, then the same will challenge us. It will bring challenges in future. So according to Eric Erickson, we have 8 stages that we go through. Yes, developmental stages. Eric Erickson is a psychologist who came up with 8 stages that we go through. And the stage that I want to focus on this evening is the stage 5, which is identity versus low confusion, and also intimacies versus isolation. This is the ages between 12 to 18, 18 to 40. That is my area of, that is the area that I really want to talk about. Maybe at a different stage or at a different time, I will talk about the earlier stages and even the later stages. So we are talking about like young adults when we are talking about this stage 5 and stage 6 of developmental stages. So we are talking about young adults. And when these guys are in that stage, they undergo dramatic changes in their lives. So there is the way they will change the way they think, the way they reason, yes, and so they don't look the same, they don't think the same, and they don't act the same, yeah. And so I want to come quite close home. I want us to go close home. Who are these people that I am talking about? Yes, I am talking about the people who have cleared high school. Yes, they have cleared high school and they are at home now. I'm also talking about those who are going on with their studies. Yeah, university studies or college studies, and they're at home. I'm also talking about those people who are employed, but they are still at home. I'm also talking about some who were married and things didn't work out, and so they came back home again. There are also children. There are also others who have children and are at home. Some of our children are also struggling with drug addiction. Yeah, and it could be even drugs or even gambling. So, struggling with addiction. Some travel and are back home after a while. Yeah, some got married and things didn't work out, and so uh, okay, some got married, left their family, and went abroad. So we have their families with them at home, and some are working, and there is still no sign of them settling down. Yes, those are the people I want to talk about this evening. So let's talk about the challenges that I experienced by having these people at home. Yes, what challenges do we experience with these young adults? And I'm sure there are many, and I'm sure you can come up with a whole list. But let me add to what you have. These people don't like being questioned. Hawataki kuulizwa maswali mingi. Hmm? They want to do their things no questioning. Yeah. They also don't want to share in household chores. I'm sure you can relate with that. They just want to laze around. They will eat, but they don't want to take part in the cooking or even washing dishes or even preparing the food. Yes, these are the people we are talking about. These are the challenges we have with these guys. They also don't follow rules, the rules that have been set, you know, they will challenge them. Yeah? These are also people that, while growing up, you took them to Sunday school. Some of them were participating. Some are even going to the pulpit when there is a Sunday school week to go and preach. And now they don't even go to church. Yes. Can you relate with that? Mhm. Me, I can. They also don't want to share in paying bills, and especially those who are working. They just want to be hosted. Um, 1 minute. Yeah, yeah. Ah, kabisa. Yeah, so what do we do? At what point did I get lost? After who introduce? Mm. So, mm? Juu hata pande yako niliona nikauliacha kunini, haikuwa inashare. What is Gina saying? Okay. Juu sioni side yangu ikiwa na shida.
Harriet,
Yes.
there is no problem. You're loud and clear, so you can continue with the conversation.
Oh, where did I get lost?
No, you were talking about persons who do not want to share bills, so that's
Ah,
where we were. You didn't get
oh,
lost anywhere.
okay. So Jeff is the one who got lost somewhere.
Yes, that's okay.
Oh,
You can continue.
thank you.
All right.
So, sorry about that.
That's
And
okay.
so I was talking about these guys who don't want to who don't want to share in paying bills. They are in our houses. They are earning, and they are just enjoying life. They are out. I mean, they are going clubbing. Eh? Living their best lives now, but they don't know anything about paying bills. They have never paid even electricity bill or any bill at all. And they are in our houses. Okay. So they also want to go out and even come back late or not at all. Yeah. These are the people we have. And those are the challenges that we are going through. They also have mood swings. Yeah. Sometimes they want to talk to you, sometimes they don't want to talk to you. And they're in our houses. And I think I can relate with this, and they're usually very lively. They want to talk to you most when they want to ask for favors or they want to ask for money. When they see like maybe you want them to ask for something from them, that's the time they are very moody. They are the ones we have in the house. They also want to be with their funny friends. And I say funny because funny according to me, not according to them. To them, their friends are okay and they are the best. So, why the conflicts? Why the disconnect now? First, they are in a developmental stage. That is, we said they are transiting from, they are coming from puberty and they are gaining independence. And so there's the surge of hormones in their bodies. So there are all these changes in their bodies, yeah, which are sometimes exciting, scary, and even confusing. There is also the issue of peer pressure. Left, right, and center, they are like made like to conform. They have to conform to what their friends are doing. There is also they are also creating an identity which is different from the parents' identity. Yes. And they are also gaining now the independence. They are gaining the independence of they want to be independent. They are not now the same children that you knew before. So they will question the rules and regulations. They want to question things. They are also in a stage where they are forming like intimate relationships with the opposite sex. So all these things are happening. And so that is bound to bring conflict with a parent who was now used to someone who is obeying rules. You tell them when to go out or order them around. This group, no, it is not business as usual. Then also the other area that is causing conflict is parenting styles. Yes. And so I may ask, yeah, who taught you how to parent? Yes. For me, I can't remember anyone teaching me how to parent, but I remember seeing my sisters, what they were doing with their children. And so I brought the same. And that is how I started raising my children. So I don't, most of us have not had the privilege of being taught how to parent. So how do we parent? Yeah, we parent the way we were parented. So maybe you are the firstborn and you saw your parenting, sijui how many children you are. And so going to your home, you will copy and paste what you saw happening in your home of origin. Then also, we also parent the way we have always imagined. There are those dreams you have as a young person growing up, that this is the way I would want my children to be. This is the way I would want my children to turn out. And that is the way now you will go and parent. We also parent as power our neighbors. Sometimes you see children who are so, respectful, they are doing things the right way, and you're like, wow, I would want to bring up my child this way. So we parent as per our neighbors. We also compare parenting notes with our colleagues at work. Maybe you'll hear someone say, this is what I do with my children. And you're like, I think that is cool. And I think I want to apply that at my place, at my home. And so some of us even have gone to extremes, yeah, regarding how we parent. For instance, if your parents were very strict, sometimes you'll opt to go to the extreme of I'll be easy with my children. I don't want to raise them up the way I was raised. And if they were easy, then you may want to go to the extreme of also being strict. So, some of us also vowed that they don't want their children to go through the pain they went through. That is also another way of parenting. And for sure, this is what marked the beginning of spoiling. The so-called kababa, the so-called kamama came from this. You don't want them to feel the pain that you went through, zile mashida zote ulipitia, no. That marked the beginning of spoiling. And again, some of us parent with a lot of fears. Maybe you underwent something like growing up. Maybe you underwent rape or sexual assault. Yeah, it doesn't have to be rape per se, but sexual assault. And this obviously affected you, but you don't know it affected you. So you bring up all the fears that you have, you will project them on the child. And so you'll be worried, where is this girl? What is happening to her? But behind you is the fear that whatever happened to you may also happen to your girl or your boy for that matter. So you bring your fears in your parenting styles. You also have now the traumas again, the same traumas, you bring them there. Some of us have also had dreams. Maybe you wanted to become a doctor, and maybe your grades didn't allow you. And here your girl has scored sijui A minus, A, and or your boy, and you're like, phew, you can become a doctor. You want to accomplish your dreams through your children. Yeah. And these are there are other many reasons why we parent the way we do. But again, we didn't know. Did we know any better? We are doing trial and error, or we are still doing trial and error. And so let me go to the parenting styles, so that we can see which parenting styles are there, which ones are appropriate, and which ones can be harmful to the child. So there are four main ones, but I'll also add two other two which have come up. So the first one is the authoritarian. Yes. The authoritarian, there is high demand on the children. You are asking for too much from the children. Very many rules. You micromanage these children until they cannot even think for themselves because you are there giving instructions, giving orders, and all that. You don't guide them, but you just give orders. Yeah. And very little feedback. You don't even want to hear anything or any reasoning from this child. Hapa ni wewe kusema, wewe ndio mwanzo na mwisho. And so what is the outcome? These children are unable to make decisions. They have a low self-esteem. They never see themselves enough. They also can turn out to be very aggressive. Then they also rebel. Yeah. After setting all those rules and regulations, they may just rebel because it's too much. And then there will be that now power struggle between you and the child because some of the rules you have put are not even manageable. Then there is the next parenting style, that is authoritative. This one is at least balanced. Yes, there is a good mix of what you are demanding. You are also guiding this child. There are also clear boundaries that have been set, And then this kind of parenting, you are warm. And you are also nurturing the child at the same time. So how do these children come out? How do they turn out? They turn out to be confident. They also turn out to be responsible. Yes. And then also they are able to regulate their emotions because maybe they have even seen their parents doing the same. They also become independent. They also have high esteem. These are the children who know what they want and they go for it. And that is the most balanced. That is what we should all strive for. Then there is the uninvolved or neglectful. These ones, they are aloof. It's like they are not there. Mhm. And they have very few expectations. And they also don't provide any guidance. So it's umeachilia to neglect. So these children will be extremely self-sufficient, extremely. They'll be withdrawn. They will be isolated. Yes. And also, they'll also have trouble controlling their emotions. Then um, we also have the permissive parents. The permissive parents, they overindulge. They overindulge. No rules are given and they are not even enforced. This kind of parenting is child driven. It is what the child wants. And these children become spoiled. They are selfish. They don't know what sharing is. They are also dependent on their parents. Yeah, because they are used to getting whatever they want. So they become dependent. They are also shunned by their peers. Their peers do not want them near them because they are spoiled. Uh-huh. And so I'm adding two more. And there's now the helicopter parenting. The helicopter parent will hover over their children, attending to their every need. Yeah. They don't let them to be independent. They even don't, they are not allowing them and they don't want them to be independent because they are hovering. In case akuwe na anything, they are there to provide solution. Kila kitu. These are the helicopter parents. And I think the outcome will still be like the one for permissive, which is spoiled, selfish, dependent. They will also be shunned by their peers. Then we go to the other one, the lone mower parent. So these ones will clear all the obstacles. Anything coming in the way, they will clear. My child cannot feel pain. Is it the teacher who is beating this child? No, I'll go and deal with that teacher. They will clear. If it is the child being bullied even outside, you go interfere. If it's the child has come and reported to you, sijui the boyfriend has done what, now you are there clearing the obstacle. You are even getting involved with the boyfriend, wanting to know what is happening. You don't want this child to feel pain. The outcome will be the same as for the permissive. They will always be dependent, they will be spoiled, they will be shunned by their peers. And so again, these are also the same parenting styles. The four of them are the major ones, the first four. The permissive, the authoritarian, and neglectful. And so I may ask, after giving all that, where do you place yourself? What kind of a parent are you? Uh-huh. Food for thought, eh? Yes. So, effects of harmful parenting styles on the children. Um, they bring self-harm, yes, suicidal tendencies, because when they feel they have nowhere to turn to, when they feel they have, as a parent, you are the one person the child should go to when they have issues. And when they feel they cannot approach you as the parent, they feel like they're worthless, and they may tend to have suicidal thoughts, self-harm. They may also become anxious. eh? They may have stress because there are issues they may want to share and they cannot because this parent is either not there, is uninvolved, or is authoritarian. So how will I even approach my mother, my father, to tell them I have an issue in school? I am having a problem with this subject. I'm having a problem with this course that I took. They get stressed. Then there is also the low self-esteem. They don't feel worth anything. Yes, and then also insomnia due to stress. Then they also can get into depression, whereby they will just feel sad. They are not interested with activities they used to be interested in. There is also self doubt and indecisiveness. These children are not able to make like decisions on their own. They are used to being helped by their parents, the helicopter parents, the authoritarian parents who just give orders. So when it comes to like a decision that they may need to make on their own, they are not able because they have never made decisions. Yeah, the parent is always there making decisions for them. They also read. They also we also see that they will now start resenting the parents. Yes, they'll start feeling hatred towards the parents. How unfortunate! We would not want to go to this. And then on the extreme, they may cut off from the family, as in they don't want to hear anything to do with their parents or even their siblings. They wanaenda na wanaenda. So let's see now what is the next slide. So how do these conflicts now affect the parents? Yeah, how do, when you bring up your child and now they start resenting you, how does it affect you? Yeah, it leads to lifestyle diseases. Yeah, hapo ndio unaona pressure inaanza kupanda because you thought you did your best, but your best was not good enough, or your best was not in the right way. There's also blame. People start blaming themselves. Either you blame yourself, maybe I failed as a parent, I didn't do the best, or even as a couple, yeah, you start blaming each other, you know, uh, like the father blaming the mother, uh that this person has turned out to be so spoiled. You are the one who has been spoiling, and the vice versa. You are the one who has been spoiling. You are the one who has been doing this. So a lot of blame. There is also guilt. uh You go around feeling like you did not do enough. uh There is also shame. How will I face the world? I brought up my child very well, but this is the way she has turned out to be. So, what will I tell the world? How do I look to other people? Me, I'm the one who is leading there in the church, and my children don't come to church. How will I look? Yes. Then there is also the sense of loss. You feel like you have you have failed as a person, as a parent. You also start enabling behavior. Enabling is like encouraging a bad behavior. You know, unataka kufichilia, like maybe your child is in drugs and substance, but there's the way now you start making covering up and also making excuses for them. They have been sent home, but then you are like, they are doing their attachments. That's why they are home. You know all that. then you'll start worrying about the future, because you may not be there for your children, or I mean, all the way. So you are like, how will they even turn out to be? So what is the way forward? What is the way forward now? Mhm. Way forward for us parents, we may need to change what needs to be changed. Mhm. It's not all lost there, but maybe we may need to adjust some few things. We may need to do a little changes here and there. So in that, you may need to call for a meeting. These people who are in your house, maybe you've never sat with them. It's time maybe to call them for a meeting. You put your house in order. Set boundaries where you need to set boundaries. You may now need to set rules, especially if you are so permissive. You may need to set rules so that you can go on amicably. You may also need to set rules. Who does what? Yeah. If it is those ones who are working, they may need now to start paying a few bills, responsibilities, and also be consistent. If possible, put them in writing, yeah, for future reference, eh, and accountability. Like, you are the one who will be paying bills, the cars, how you are assigning the cars. There are those who are given cars and all that. So if you have the car, then you put fuel, that kind of thing. So you set rules, and also boundaries. And also follow the implementation. Like if someone is supposed to pay for electricity bill, follow it up, eh? So that you don't find yourself in darkness. And if they forget, then you need to call them again for a meeting and ask what is happening. Yeah. Also clarify your expectations. Some of these conflicts arise because there are no clear write down expectations. Like, this is what I expect of you. Yeah. You may need to say, this is exactly what I want in my house, blah, blah, blah. Yes. You may need to set the expectations. Um, Jeff, you are really going faster than me. uh, Also, take good care of yourself. Love yourself. Yeah, even as you are bringing up these children, please take care of yourself, because after they are gone, you'll still be left. And so, how will you be left? Yeah, as you are raising them up, also take good care of yourself. Forgive yourself. There are things we have done that we should not have done. There are things we have not done and we should have done. Please forgive yourself and don't beat yourself so much. Uh-huh. And accept the reality that things have happened. Yeah. And you can't undo what has happened. And you can even say the serenity prayer that God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, what happens with the things that you can't change? You may learn to cope. There are those that can't change at this stage, because you realize this is like a tree that has already formed and it's a bit firm. So bending it may break. So there are those that will not change. So what you'll do, learn to cope. Mhm. Also have self-talk, you know, positive self-talk. When you see or you feel like your mind is going towards the negative, oh, I didn't do this, I should have done this, just have a positive self-talk and tell yourself, this is the best I could have done. This was the best I did according to the times we were in. under the circumstances, at least this was the best I could provide, positive self-talk. Also set for yourself goals for your sunset years and how you may want to spend your years after the empty nest. So how can we improve relationship with our children? How can we improve? And you can see here a mother who is cool. I think they are in a movie, in a theater where they are watching a movie, and a dad who is really listening to the children talking. So, what is the way forward as far as the children are concerned? You may learn to listen to them actively. Actively is listening without having other thoughts in the way we do mind reading, that you see your child coming and you're already telling yourself, ooh, this one is coming to ask for money, this one is coming to ask for permission to go out. No, listen to them actively. What are they saying? Without having other thoughts behind you. Uh-huh. Also, communicate effectively. Actually, most of these conflicts are coming through because people do not communicate effectively. You need to communicate, you need to listen actively, you need to communicate effectively. Like the message that you are sending, has he or she understood it the way you wanted? Have you confirmed that she has understood it that way? Mhm. And even how when she's communicating to you, maybe you may even want to clarify more. Yeah, instead of kujijazia. Mhm. Then also be empathetic. Yeah, empathy means you getting into their world to know exactly what they are going through or what is happening in their world. And that way you can be able to relate. Yes. And also be a consultant. Stay there like a consultant, yeah, when they need you, and allow them to make choices. Sometimes you may see like, wow, the choice she's about to make is not the right choice according to you. But how will they learn? How will they learn? They have to make sometimes mistakes. And so you'll be there as a consultant. When they come to you, you are there to like, yes, this one you can do this. Yes, if I was asked, I would do this and that. And then you let them to do the decision for themselves. Because again, you want them to, you have already grounded them when they are coming up to age 18. And now you want to launch them off. So how are you going to launch them if you are crippling them, if you are not making them, if you are not letting them fly? So you may need to let them also make some choices. Also be an encourager. Encourage them in whatever they are doing. Some of these children are going through a lot in universities. Yes, they are struggling with the courses they chose. Some of these courses are so hard. Yeah, be there, not to do much, but to encourage and being the support system of this child. As in, they can call you and tell you they are stressed. You may not do so much, but even being there to listen to them and say how sorry you are and what can I do will make a lot of difference. Also, be a friend. The way you relate with your friends is the way you should relate with your children. Do you shout at your friends? No. Do you say sorry when you are wrong to your friends? Yes. And do you do the same with your children? Huh? Yes. Food for thought. Also be concerned with their affairs. Just try to find out what is happening in their life. Be concerned in as far as they can allow you, because sometimes they will not even allow you to get into their affairs so much. And also be ready to receive feedback. Feedback is good so that you can know how you are doing, but also be ready. Yeah, there are things you'll be told about yourself that you will not want to believe. Hmm? So be ready for whatever comes, but feedback is good because you are able to know how you are faring, and you can even change. There are things maybe you are doing without knowing or not conscious about what you are doing. But when you get feedback from your children, then you are able to change for the betterment of everyone. Also being non-judgmental. Parents, we tend to judge these young adults from the way they are dressing, from the way from their dressing, their hair, their friends. Uh, we need to stop being judgmental. We also need to give them unconditional love. And when I talk about unconditional love, this is where love is tested, it's tried and tested. Because at the end of the day, whatever they do, whether they turn out to be what or what, they'll still be your children or your child. Yeah. So this is where the real unconditional love is tried and tested. Reason with them. It is a give and take. Kuna places you will also give. There are places you will take. It should be a win-win situation. It's not like me, I'm the parent, I have to win all the time. If it is household chores, there's the way they don't want to do it when you want them to do it. Maybe you are a perfectionist, you want things to be cleaned immediately, you don't want to see anything on the sink. Then they want to watch a movie, but at the end of the day, they will still clean them up. So you may need now to also be a bit flexible and say, as long as they are cleaned, it's okay. Yeah. So we may need to adjust that. You may also want to uh, respond and not react. What do I mean that by this? When something happens, mostly we rush in, yeah, without giving it a good thought. Yeah, that is reacting. Responding, you may need to take your time. You may need to know or even understand why something has happened before you respond. And mostly when you respond, then you respond in the right way. When you react, you will say even things that you will regret later. Uh, Never compare your children, either with your neighbors, your relatives' children, or even with their other siblings. That is something that they really resent. Also, try to do things together. Try also to understand why they do some things, the things that interest them. You may also want to see what is it about that. Yeah. So at one time or the other, even sit with them and watch even a movie together. Have a movie night. And you may be surprised you will enjoy. Yeah. And that way, when you are doing that, you are already also creating a rapport. You are conversing. And so you are getting even to know them deeper, better. Yeah. And they will now start seeing you as a friend. And also now honor them. The way we said you should be their friends. You should honor them for the adults that they are. They are already adults, yes, young adults, but they'll feel honored when you are even relating to them as adults. You are even consulting them, asking them for their opinion. Yeah, they are no longer the children that were being just told, were being instructed to do things. They'll feel honored when you consider them and like an adult. Eh, Unwanted advice is rarely heeded. Yes, you may give your advice, but they may not act on it. Yeah, but you can be present and available when needed. we say be a consultant. And again, love and be firm. So, way forward for both, you may do personal development. Try to discover why things are not working. Personal development means even like now tuning in to this talk and hearing tips about how to relate with your children. You can even do like online classes. You can even join others. When there are seminars, personal development is very important. Also, seek counseling. There are times you feel you are overwhelmed. There are times you feel, for sure, I cannot continue like this. And also, we say it, sometimes you are coming into parenting with a lot of fears. You are coming into parenting with a lot of traumas. You may need counseling to first heal yourself, yeah, so that you can stop interfering, so that those traumas can stop interfering with your parenting. Also, for both the child and the parent, they should embrace forgiveness. For the things that have happened, they have happened. So, way forward, they may need to forgive one another and start on a clean slate as friends. Eh? So, in conclusion, learning is continuous, and none is an expert in all things. So, you may need to learn some things, you may need to unlearn other things, and we may also need to relearn others. So, thank you very much. And that is all I had for today. Yes, time for questions.
Thank you very much, Harriet. That has been quite enlightening and quite interesting as well. And especially the question that you asked initially, whether parenting becomes easier or harder as the children grow older. I think I think when they're growing up and they're little, we are okay. They are growing up and we're thinking, okay, once they're out of this stage, I think we will be better. We will have felt better as parents. And then they reach at that stage and then you start getting worried again. Anyway, we're going to be taking questions and one of the question is, now you talked about different parenting styles. But for those of us that have many children, can you use a different parenting style on one child and a different one on another child? What would be your take on that?
Uh, like I said, the best would be the authoritative, where you are balancing, where you are balancing.
Okay.
Yes.
The second question is, their children. Of course, there is that. I don't want to use the word the bad being or in the mix. That you have children. You have like five children, but there is that one child that has become almost impossible for a parent to handle. I don't know. What would be your comment on that? Because you're using the same parenting style on all of them, but you find one of them has become an extreme. Yeah.
Mostly that one who is becoming an extreme, mostly they are looking for attention. They are acting out. So you may want to understand them more. What is causing them to act out? Yeah. And I'm sure when you do that, then they'll turn out to be okay.
Okay. Jeff, are there any questions from the social media?
We we do not have any questions, but we have a comment from Wairimu Beki saying that was a wonderful presentation, taking so much home.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, Harriet, there is this issue of we parent the same way we were parented. We copy and paste.
Yes.
And some parents, we end up, especially when we are in the school, in school meetings, and we keep commenting and saying, we were parented this way, and look at how we turned, the copy and paste. As a counseling psychologist, what would be your comment on that? And then you can also let us know whether parents can reach out to you for family counseling and how they can reach to you.
Okay. Let me first of all comment on that we were parented and we turned out to be okay. Is that what you mean, Gina?
Yes.
Yes, and there are still those who are parented and they became worse. So it's about doing the right thing.
Okay.
And again, we are projecting the same. We are passing on. And again, what worked those days cannot work in this generation. The resilience we had then is not the same resilience that we have now.
Yeah.
So children of nowadays, now you're seeing them kidogo stress, they are in the therapy rooms. And I think when we were growing up, I think it was about whose parent is more strict than the others. And now you could go and compare notes and laugh at it, you see?
Yeah.
So I think that is where we pioneered. But these ones of nowadays, the resilience is quite low. So we may need now to change the way we are doing things.
Okay.
And so, my number.
Yes, how can first of all, you need to answer, can parents reach out to you for counseling?
Yes, they can.
How can they do that? Yes.
My number will be posted in the group.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you could share the email so that we can post to our viewers who are not in our group.
Yes, because
okay.
The viewing is also outside the agenda we want.
Okay. Yeah. It is Harriet Kanyora at gmail.com. Harriet with small h, double R, I-E-T.
Okay.
Harriet Kanyora at gmail.com.
Thank you very much, Harriet. I think you've covered quite at length, and you've answered most of the questions that I had in my notebook and also in my head. We want to thank you most profusely for taking your time to come to the Kajando we want and for educating us as parents. Apparently, there is no parenting manual, and sometimes we do what we were calling copy and paste from the way we were parented and so forth. But then we realize that the generations have changed, the technology has changed, and so we need to adopt new ways of parenting. Well, sometimes we wish that there was a manual. But in the absence of the manual, I think learning from people like you and others, that is very encouraging. And also, you've talked about, I think, forgiveness and personal development also for parents. Sometimes we forget ourselves when we are doing the parenting. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone that is listening and watching. This is the Kajando we want. This is going to be recorded and can be viewed later on, and we're going to be sharing it in our social media. We thank God for this evening. We thank God for Harriet, and we thank God for you, Jeff, for taking your time away also to be here. We thank God for the continuing peace in the country, and may the grace of our Lord be with us all, and goodness of the Lord may follow us for the rest of our lives. Amen, and have a good night. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.